So be memorable, be authentic, be you. When I say those three phrases and I'm referring to your LinkedIn profile, I'm saying the same thing 3 times, because I know that the most powerful, the most memorable LinkedIn profiles start right here with your personal brand. So personal brand, yeah, kind of lame, but your personal brand is your reputation. Your personal brand is what you say, plus how you look, plus what you do. Your personal brand is what people say about you after you've left the room. Now, obviously, all of those things are perceived by other people. They know what your personal brand is, but somehow it's hard for us to know what our personal brand is. We know so much, and it's hard to make it shrink down so that we can handle it. So these are the 3 questions that I use every time I work with a senior level executive on their profile. I'm hoping that they will really be magical for you too. They're simple questions. What are the 3 things you want to be known for? What is different in the world of work because of you? And what are your key words? Now, those are simple questions, but they're not at all easy questions. As a matter of fact, the first time someone gave me the question, what are the 3 things you want to be known for? I could think of 6 things I wanted to be known for. I thought, oh, overachiever. But here's the thing. 6 is not twice as good as 3. As a matter of fact, 6 is not half as good as 3, because 3 is memorable. 6, or any number greater than 3, makes you look unfocused. And when we look unfocused, or even worse, disingenuous, there is no way we can refer someone to you. So it's really important that we spend time identifying what are the things that we most want to be known for. So today what I'm going to do is take these 3 questions and show you how you can weave them into your profile so that we can all be more memorable. So the very first thing we see on the LinkedIn profile is this big blue banner. Yeah, really, not so great. But this is my client, Tony Fisher. Tony Fisher is the president and owner of K1 Sportswear. And K1 Sportswear manufactures the highest quality of professional team uniforms, like these. All of a sudden, you've got something about Tony's brand. If you know the 3 things that you want to be known for, the chances are pretty good you can come up with an image that will help telegraph that to someone else. Like my client in San Antonio, who always delivers breakthrough results. And this is my friend David. He is the social director at my father's senior living community in Dallas, Texas. This look at the clubhouse is a great way for him to introduce his brand. He is all about making seniors really happy. So other than your picture, which is really important, but we're not going to talk about that today, the next thing that is important is your headline. And LinkedIn does us the favor of auto-filling that. So many of us have never touched our headline. Have you touched your headline? Oh, yeah, several times. All right, good. It autofills with your current position and your current company. And that's a fine start if you'd like to start there. But give it a colon. And with the rest of the 120 characters, see if you can add some value. Help people understand more about who you are. So the first person here has really emphasized keywords. We've got both multilingual, international, and global there. And we've got finance showing up a couple of times. It's very clear who this person is. And it's clear not only to people, but also to the LinkedIn bots. The last person has used the 3 things they want to be known for. They want to be known for leading effective teams, building customer relationships, and driving record growth. And the person in the middle has focused in on things that are different in the world of work because of them. They're differentiators. All of them have used their keywords effectively. Okay, this is the About section, and many people try to skirt by with no About section. This used to be called the summary because it's hard to write. We don't like to write about ourselves because we don't want to really talk about ourselves, and it's not a Minnesota thing to do and all of that. But really, we can plant the first seeds of know, like, and trust right here in our About section. When we tell people authentically who we are, we touch them. We touch them in a very special way. So my recommendation is take those questions and mine them. We have 2,000 characters. That looks like 3 fat paragraphs. Maybe you could take each of the 3 things you want to be known for and have them be featured on each of your paragraphs. Maybe you want to talk about how you do what you do differently than other people do because of your uniqueness, your life experiences. However you decide to approach it, make sure that you are speaking in the first person because this is the language of conversation. And this is the section where we win you over. This is when we get to tell our real story. Make sure you make it great. Experience. We have 2,000 characters again for each of our positions. And that's a wonderful thing. Great way to have your keywords show up. Make sure that you are telling what your accomplishments are in each of your positions. And I wouldn't use 2,000 characters for a job that's really long ago, but all of your recent ones. Mind that, because when we use when we write a lot, we automatically include our keywords often. And LinkedIn is a search engine. It's looking for your keywords. So less is never more on LinkedIn, only more is more. Use your keywords everywhere, and skills are keywords. So there are a couple things I want to tell you about skills. The maximum number that you can list is 50. The recommended number is also 50 because skills are keywords. Make sure that you're taking advantage of the new change that LinkedIn made. They now allow you to pin your top 3 skills to the top of your profile. And that is huge because that's the 3 things you want to be known for. So make sure that there's a skill that goes with each of the things that is in your top 3 list. It used to be that our skills were frozen by the number of endorsements. And really, that was at a time when the skills were kind of flat. For instance, if you listed 7 years ago, if you listed leadership, that was it, leadership. Now, if you put leadership in the search there for all the skills, there are 15 different flavors of leadership that you can pick from. And that's huge because it gets greater specificity and people feel like they know who you are and what you're about. Optional sections. The answer about optional sections is use any and all optional sections that you have the possibility of using. I like to point out that courses, if you are sent by a company to a course to learn something new, those are key words. So go ahead and list those. If you recently completed a graduate degree or recently completed a college degree, put the courses in your major down because, again, those are keywords and it will help you be found. I've highlighted volunteer activities for a couple of reasons. One is that I want you to touch people's heart. And when we share what really is important to us outside our workaday world, we understand. I have a friend who loves cats and she volunteers for caring for cats. Well, I think cats are fine. I'm kind of allergic to them, but it makes me know that that person is incredibly kind. That is one identifier of someone who cares for animals, is that you know that they are kind. And so that connects with the heart. Then, if you're using skills that you use in your normal business, those skills count because then the bots find them. And that's, the double win. There's another thing about volunteer positions, and it is that they are reviewed at the same time as they are looking at all your paid positions. LinkedIn makes no distinction between a volunteer position and a paid position. So if you're using really good information in your volunteer, that's just huge. So we've talked about being memorable on our profile. But there's so much more to LinkedIn than just your profile. There's your online presence. How many of you have had someone send you a connection request and go, oh, okay. And then the next thing that happens is, hey, I know what your problem is and I have the solution. Let's get it on. Oh my goodness, sales already? That's a problem because we have to know, like, and trust the people that sell to us. They haven't earned the right to sell right off the bat. And so we want to make sure that we nurture relationships and that we are really authentic, not only what we put about ourselves, but also how we interact online. So here are some tools for LinkedIn nurturing. Like, comment, share. Those are the tools for LinkedIn love. Absolutely. When we are giving out like, share, and comment, we're paying attention. Now, all these symbols are not equal. The like is like two people going very fast at noon through the Minneapolis Skyway going, hi. Not much impact. But if you pair a like with a comment or a like with a share, there we've got something going because now we can have a dialogue. That's really impactful. Here is another tool that LinkedIn provides to us that shows that we are paying attention, and it's called a tag. A tag is a hyperlink, and it hyperlinks to their profile. Now, it's used to give credit to other people. But the magic is that we get credit for doing it. So here's how that we get credit part goes. I use the hyperlink, the tag, to tag Casey. LinkedIn helps me out. They send to Casey a message to his email where they know he's more likely to pay attention. It says, Carol Kaemmerer has commented about you online on LinkedIn. And it provides a link back so that Casey can say, thank you, Carol. And then I know I have done a nice thing and it has been received because he completes the connection. So in order to create a tag, what you do is you type the @ sign, and without any spaces, you begin typing the name. LinkedIn will try to match your typing in a drop-down menu. And when you see the person, as you keep typing, it gets better and better. Eventually, you'll see the person that you're trying to tag in the drop-down menu. So you click on that person, and then it makes the tag. When you are typing your post, it just looks bold. But when you publish it, it's blue, and it works. You can go right to that person's profile, and that's just awesome. So these are nurturing tools. They're not the only nurturing tools. You know, there's phone calls, and there's emails, and there's coffee, but this is a very efficient way. And if you are trying to sell, it would be good to have a few interactions before you try that. So all of the symbols of like, share, and comment, and tagging, we need to know what is their activity, because we want to tag what they have written or what they've shared. So we could either spend our afternoon scrolling through the homepage looking for something that they've shared, or this is my shortcut. You go to the person's profile, and between the About section and the Experience section, you'll find this little section that's at the bottom of my slide here. It's called Activity. And if you click there, you can see everything they've posted in the recent past. Now, if you go there and you find that their most recent post was 6 months ago, then LinkedIn is not your platform for nurturing this person. They're not going to ever see what you write. But if they are posting on a regular basis, you can say, Nina, I just love that article that you posted because I see on point 3, it is so real to what I see every day when I consult with my senior executives. Great. So these are nurturing tools, and I urge you to use them effectively, not in a cheesy way, but, you know, hey, if we're going to be friends, friends like to say hello and say, I'm paying attention to you. Make sure that when you comment online, that you are really adding value. Because every utterance on LinkedIn or any other social media is a direct line to your brand. These are little breadcrumb trails. Make sure that you are speaking in a way that reflects well on you, that you are sharing good material, because it goes to the people in your network, but you never know who else is going to see it. It's not a private message. So make sure that you are really adding value. Okay, I have a whole nother section, but I wanted to offer an opportunity for questions like 4 questions, and then we'll go to the end of my presentation. Does anybody have a question? Yes.
Left field, but connection versus following. Do you have any guidelines for, I'm thinking of somebody maybe I've met once, or they're a connection of a connection. Do you follow them? Do you connect with them?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I would say that if you would like a relationship, you could surely connect. You could say, I know that my friend Joe speaks so highly of you, and I would really appreciate the opportunity to be connected to you too. When we start with that kind of kindness, it's very likely that they'll connect. On the other hand, I speak to graduate students really often. And, before and during and after I speak, I have this whole list of graduate students trying to connect with me. And so usually I say to the faculty member, I'm going to invite them to follow me. So one of the things is that I don't know what the number is, and I'm not sure it's ever been published, but there is a limit to how many people you can be connected to.
30,000.
Very good.
30,000. Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm not very close.
Best friends.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
At any rate, that's my plan. I'm going to suggest that they follow me. All right. Anything else?
What are your thoughts on content generation? More as so technical content, like as an engineer, if I want to write something about current scenario or current topics, how does that impact one's profile?
Anytime you post something that is really central to your network, that works well. I would suggest that you post things that are from kind of trade publications where you have the possibility of them being able to read it online. One of the things that doesn't work is trying to send an article from the New York Times or something, or the Harvard Business Review, where you can read this much and then the rest of it's embargoed because you are not subscriber. But anything where you can find a URL to paste in to the LinkedIn thing, that's really huge.
No, I was talking more about writing yourself, like as it, my own content.
Oh, well, wonderful. Okay, so here is my big suggestion for anybody who wants to write their own content. Start with the image first, because if you do not post an image with your article, you will never get any views. So make sure that you have a graph or a picture of whatever it is you're going to talk about, even if you have to take the picture yourself, because LinkedIn is a very visual platform. Yes?
Can you comment on writing or publishing articles versus posts?
So one of the things is that posts, which are shorter, get more views than articles, which are longer. I still write articles once a month because I am teeing up my most important content. And so when people say to me, I'm having a problem with people stalking me, and I don't like these annoying things that are happening on LinkedIn, I say, oh, here's my article on what to do about annoying people on LinkedIn. So I think that it still is valuable. I have them in a collection. You can find my articles always by going to my company page, which is carolkaemmerer.com on LinkedIn. Okay, one more. Yeah.
So in terms of how you present yourself online, if you're employed and you use LinkedIn to promote your industry but you're also trying to start something on your own.
Mhm.
Do you want to find the commonality between like who you are in both of those? Because you don't want it to look schizophrenic. Like I'm posting all these things because I'm really interested in volunteering for cats, but I'm an engineer, and so I'm posting two different, totally different things. How would you kind of navigate presenting yourself in a way that's very consistent, but ultimately advocating you?
Okay. So I think it's perfectly fine to have something that is directly related to your current company and something that's just near and dear to your heart. So I don't think that looks schizophrenic. I think that we all need to be whole people. We all need to be our best selves, and we have passions that go well beyond our current business. So I want to get back to my roundup here. Could you go back and get the bowl back there? So LinkedIn is ever-changing. It's multi-layered. We need strategy. We need to know how this works. And that's why I created my book, LinkedIn for the Savvy Executive. And those of you who put their business cards in the bowl have a chance of winning a book. So let's see. Come on up, Nina.
You guys have always wanted to be Vanna White.
Oh, I know. So we should make it like salad.
When I was at my grandma's on Tuesday, we were watching Wheel of Fortune, and I'm just saying, I knew neighborhood lemonade stand.
Okay, so put it up high so I can't see. Yeah, see. All right, here we go.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Oh my goodness, Jesse Ross. Okay, so Jesse, come on up here and get your book.
That's a lot of traction.
Okay.
Right there.
That's great.
Congratulations, and see me afterwards. No, I will personalize. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Oh, hey.
I don't just say stuff you don't
I
know.
just read this book on the plane coming home from Chicago last week as well.
Is that good?
Okay. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Hold it up high. All right. Okay. Alrighty. John Kaemmerer. Fabulous. Come on up.
You got a book!
Wonderful.
Excellent. Thank you.
Take a pic.
And oh yes, here we go.
Like my grandma said, act like we like each other.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So now I will wrap up here. LinkedIn for the Savvy Executive. I invite you, these are other resources to connect because I role model what I preach on LinkedIn. Learn from my book. It's available also in the back. Learn from my articles. I post once a month, and or I post an article once a month. I post 3 times a day otherwise. I post really good content. And I have had lots of people say, oh my gosh, I just love what you post. So that's a fun thing. If you find that you're getting value, please respond. That's the way good content goes to other people. Okay, my last point is that we want to be memorable as we network. Now, we're doing a pretty good job here already. Nina's got us set up for success. But I want to suggest that instead of trying to connect with everybody in the room, that we concentrate a little bit on building a deeper relationship. And that comes with listening and engaging. And then if we have some resources that we can share, sharing. So it's been my pleasure to be with you today at this first ever LinkedIn Local. I'm so pleased to be the speaker, and I'm so pleased to get to meet all of you. Thanks so much.